Once their slaves, now their executioners. We crushed their civilization. Part 1. The prison planet was always dark. Clouds of ash floated in the air. Black towers of metal touched the sky. Huge machines screamed as they worked, and inside them, humans. Not free humans, slaves. They lived in fear. They worked in pain. Every morning, a loud horn woke them. Every night, they were locked inside cold iron rooms. They had no names, only numbers. The Zarketh ruled this place. The Zarketh were tall, thin, aliens with skin like stone and eyes like fire. They had long arms, sharp teeth, and no heart. They called humans flesh tools. To them, humans were not people, just animals to use. One of these humans was a boy. His number was Unit 87G. He was only 12, but already his hands were full of cuts. He worked in the heat chambers, fixing pipes that carried molten fuel. One wrong move, and he would burn alive. One day, Unit 87G slipped and fell. Hot gas burned his leg. He screamed. A Zarketh guard came close. "What is this noise?" the alien hissed. "I'm hurt," the boy said, shaking. The guard laughed. "Then crawl faster." The boy looked up, face dirty and eyes red. He didn't say a word. He couldn't. Speaking without permission was a crime. Many humans were killed for that, but inside, the boy thought one thing. One day, we will be free. Far away, under the slave city, something was happening. In the waste tunnels, dark, wet and forgotten, 7 humans sat together. Their faces were tired. Their backs were bent, but their eyes burned with anger. They were whispering. A woman named Tara spoke. She was once a teacher before the Zarketh took Earth. Now she repaired broken robot arms for the aliens. But her mind was still sharp. "They think we're broken," she whispered. "They think we can't fight. They beat us, starve us, kill us," said Juno, a former soldier. "But they made one mistake." "What mistake?" asked a young man. "They taught us their language," Juno said. "They forced us to work their machines. They made us smarter." Tara nodded. "They gave us the tools. Now we'll use them." Another man pulled out a piece of metal, small, sharp, and shaped like a key. It was made from scraps, hidden for months. "Tonight," he said, "we unlock the supply room. Take tools, hide them, train." Everyone was quiet. Then Tara whispered the words that started everything. "This is not just survival anymore. This is war." Back in the work zone, Unit 87G limped to his sleeping cage. The pain in his leg was getting worse, but he didn't cry. An old man, sleeping next to him, opened one eye. "You all right, kid?" the man asked quietly. The boy nodded. "Yeah," the man coughed. "When I was your age, Earth still had cities, mountains, oceans, not this hell." The boy stared at the metal ceiling. "Will we ever go back?" The man smiled sadly. "We'll make our own Earth, right here." The boy didn't understand, but he would. One day. Later that night, a Zarketh patrol passed by the waste tunnels. They stopped. One of them sniffed the air. "Humans have been here." Another Zarketh pointed at a small footprint. "Report it?" "No, they are too weak. Let them play their little games." They walked away, laughing. Behind a wall, Juno held his breath. His hand gripped a sharpened pipe. "We're not playing," he whispered. Above the planet in orbit, Zarketh warships floated like silent monsters. The largest one, Bloodfang, was filled with alien nobles. Inside a shining hall, the Zarketh Supreme Commander stood. "The humans grow slow," he said. "They cry. They break. Soon, there will be nothing left to fight." A younger Zarketh spoke up. "Some humans have been acting strange," the commander hissed. "They are nothing. Slaves don't rise." But on the prison planet below, in the shadows, the first spark of rebellion had already begun. Once their slaves, now their executioners, we crushed their civilization. Part 2. The cold air in the supply tunnel smelled like oil and dust. Tara's hands moved quickly. She pulled a small metal box from behind a wall panel. Inside were wires, batteries, and a tiny chip taken from a broken Zarketh drone. "It's ready," she whispered. Juno looked at the device. "Will it work?" "It has to," Tara said. "This is our first message." They were building something dangerous, a signal jammer. With it, they could block cameras, hide their movements, and start the first phase of their plan. The Zarketh watched everything, every room, every hallway, but even machines could be fooled. And humans had learned. They had watched. They had studied. The Zarketh made a mistake. They thought humans were too broken to fight. In the central repair bay, a young man named Callan stood over a Zarketh patrol drone. He wore gray worker clothes and kept his head low, like all slaves were taught to do. But Callan was no ordinary worker. He had once been a software student before Earth fell. Now he was something more, a builder of rebellion. He carefully inserted a new chip into the drone's memory slot. Then without a sound, he closed the panel and walked away. The drone flew off. But it was no longer loyal to the Zarketh. It was now a spy for the humans. In the shadow of the Black Towers, Unit 87G, still limping from his injury, was sent to sweep the ground near the outer wall. The wall was tall, metal, and full of sharp electric spikes. No human had ever escaped. Everyone knew it was impossible. But 87G noticed something strange. A pipe from the cooling unit had cracked. Hot steam hissed into the air. A small tunnel had started to form in the dirt below. He looked around. No guards. He bent down, touched the loose soil, and whispered, "Maybe not impossible after all." That night, deep underground, the hidden group met again. Juno placed a map on the floor. It was made from scraps of cloth and metal. He pointed. "Here. This drone bay has a weakness. We strike here first, quietly, no alarms." Callan nodded. "I've set the drone to shut down the lights at midnight. We'll have 5 minutes in total darkness," Tara added. "If we succeed, we get power tools. Tools we can turn into weapons." A young girl looked nervous. "And if we fail?" Juno didn't blink. "Then we die, but we die free. Everyone." Was silent for a moment. Then one by one, they all said the same word. Free. In the Zarketh control tower, strange reports started coming in. Sector cameras blinked off for 6 seconds. A patrol drone returned with missing memory logs. Cooling unit tunnel found near outer wall. The Zarketh officer frowned. "Is this human error?" "No," another replied. "This is something else." The officer slammed a clawed fist on the console. "Then find them," but it was already too late. The spark had been lit. Midnight. Total darkness. The lights in the drone bay blinked and then died. In the silence, 5 shadows moved like ghosts. Juno, Tara, Callan, and 2 others. They slipped inside, avoiding motion. Sensors. Tara reached the control panel. Her fingers danced across the keys. Click. The door opened. Inside were crates, tools, power cutters, plasma welders, even old mining charges, weapons. They grabbed what they could and ran back into the dark. By the time the lights returned, the bay looked untouched. But it was not. It had been breached. Back in the tunnels, the rebels hid the tools under old junk, piles. They would use them soon. Tara smiled. "It begins." Unit 87G watched from a distance. He had followed Juno here. "Can I help?" he asked. "You're just a kid," Juno said. "I'm also a slave," the boy replied. "That's enough." Juno looked at the others. Then he nodded. "All right, kid. Welcome to the Resistance." In the far distance, on another Zarketh planet, a small ship exploded. Nobody knew who did it. The news reached the prison world a day later. Tara read the stolen transmission and smiled. Another group, somewhere out there, fighting back. Juno laughed. We're not alone. The galaxy had no idea what was coming, but one thing was now clear. The age of silence was over. Once they're slaves, now they're executioners. We crushed their civilization. Part 3, the sky above the prison world was always red. The smoke from the towers never stopped. The machines never rested. But deep underground, the humans were not hiding anymore. They were preparing. In the hidden tunnels, Juno stood beside a wall covered in maps and notes. Tara finished connecting wires to a power cell. Callan held a stolen detonator in his hands. Tonight was the night. Their first attack. The drone bay gave us a chance, Juno said. We hit fast, hit hard, and disappear. Tara nodded. If we succeed, the slaves will know we are not alone. Hope will spread. Callan smiled slightly. And if we fail? Juno looked at him. We won't. The target was simple, a Zarketh supply station. It stored weapons, food, energy packs, and fuel. It was lightly guarded. The aliens thought humans were too afraid to strike. That was their mistake. Juno led the team through the waste tunnels. They came up under the station. Tara set the charges. They had 5 minutes to get out. The team slipped back into the dark. Then, boom. The explosion lit up the sky. The station cracked open like an egg. Fire climbed into the air. Zarketh guards screamed. Lights flashed. Sirens wailed. But the humans were gone. On the prison planet, every human heard the blast. Some looked up in fear. Others smiled for the first time in years. Unit 87G stood in line for food when he saw the smoke. His heart raced. Was it them? He whispered. The old man next to him nodded. It has begun. In the Zarketh control center, alarms rang. Who did this? A commander shouted. There's no sign, no video, nothing. It was too fast. Sabotage? Rebellion. The word fell like a hammer. Impossible, the commander hissed. Humans are too weak. But in his eyes, there was fear. Hours later, deep below, the human team returned, bruised, dirty, but alive. Juno dropped his pack. We did it. Tara smiled, tears in her eyes. We actually did it. Now what? Callan asked. Now we do it again, Juno said. And again. And again. The war had started. Across the prison world, whispers spread like fire. They hit a supply base. Zarketh are scared. There's a group, a resistance. Even in the slave quarters, hope began to grow. Humans who had once given up now began to look around, search for weak walls, broken wires, secret paths. But the Zarketh were not blind anymore. Guards doubled. Search teams swept the tunnels. Drones flew overhead, and a special ship landed on the surface. From inside walked a tall, armored figure, Commander Vekar, leader of the Zarketh security force. He had crushed 5 rebellions on other planets. He came to make an example. In the center square, humans were forced to gather. Vekar stood on a platform. His voice echoed. Someone here has committed an act of war. You think you are clever. You think you are strong. Let me remind you who rules this world. He pointed to 3 random humans, 2 women and 1 old man. Bring them, the guards. Drag them forward. No, someone shouted. But it was too late. Vekar raised a plasma gun, a flash. Then silence. The bodies fell to the ground. A message to all. Next time, Vekar said, I burn the entire sector. He turned and left. That night, the hidden humans met again. No one spoke at first. Then Juno broke the silence. They want us scared. They want us to stop, Tara said. Callan clenched his fists. What now? We hit back, Juno said, coldly. Harder, Tara added. But smarter. We build, train, prepare the others. Juno looked around. We made them bleed. Now we keep going. Unit 87G sat in his cage, wide awake. He remembered the people who died today, their faces, their voices. He touched the small piece of metal hidden in his sleeve, a tool he had sharpened into a blade. The humans had struck once. But this was only the beginning. Once their slaves, now their executioners, we crushed their civilization. Part 4. The Zarketh thought humans were animals. They beat them like animals, locked them in cages, fed them like dogs. But animals bite when pushed too far. And now, the humans had started to bite back. The tunnels were darker than usual. Wet, cold, full of whispers. Tara looked over the map of the water system. This tunnel connects to the guard barracks. Juno nodded. We poison their supply, not to kill. Just to remind them, they can bleed too. Callan handed over a small packet. Extracted from their own chemical waste, harmless to us, burns like acid to them. It was time to fight dirty. Meanwhile, Unit 87G trained in silence. He was not the same scared boy. Not anymore. He practiced with a sharp pipe. His arms had bruises. His legs were stronger. His eyes were colder. The old man who had helped him was gone now, beaten during a random inspection. Left to die. The boy didn't cry. He sharpened his weapon. He remembered the Zarketh who laughed while the old man screamed, and he whispered to himself, "I'm coming for you." 3 nights later, screams filled the air near barracks sector. 12 Zarketh soldiers rolled on the floor, skin burning, eyes swelling. The poison worked fast, and it hurt. The commander roared in anger. "Search the tunnels, bring me their heads!" But the humans were already gone. Juno stood before the group. "They call us beasts. Good. Beasts are dangerous," Tara added. "This is not just survival. This is vengeance." One woman stepped forward. "I used to be a mother. They took my child." Another man said, "I was a doctor. They made me a cleaner." Juno raised a hand. "Then let's remind them who we really are. The next target, the food transport line." Callan hacked a signal chip and sent a fake call for help. When the guards rushed off, the humans struck. 2 transports stolen. Food, fuel, medical packs. They shared it among the sick and wounded. For the first time in years, some humans ate warm food. Children smiled. Old people cried. A little hope had returned. But the Zarketh. Response was brutal. They burned an entire worker block. 80 people died. Not soldiers, not rebels, just humans. The Zarketh commander left a message on the wall, written in human blood. "Resistance means death." The humans saw it, and something inside them snapped. Juno stood over the writing, his hands shaking. Tara whispered, "What do we do now?" Juno replied, voice cold like ice, "We become what they fear most." In the nights that followed, Zarketh, soldiers began disappearing one by one. A patrol entered a tunnel, never returned. A commander's head was found on a pike. Warning signs appeared on walls in red paint. "You made us monsters." "We are coming." Fear spread through the alien ranks. For the first time, the Zarketh were afraid to walk alone. Iniu? The orbiting ship Bloodfang, the Zarketh High Command watched the reports. 20 soldiers dead this week. Security bots destroyed. Slaves are organizing. The Supreme Commander growled, "This is not rebellion. This is infestation." Another officer said, "We should kill them all." But one elder Zarketh shook his head slowly. "No. This is evolution. We taught them fear. Now they teach it back." Back underground, the resistance was growing. More humans joined. Fighters, builders, even spies. Juno trained them all. Brutal, fast, silent. Tara built new weapons from old parts, mini plasma bombs, sonic blades, heat cutters. And Unit 87G, he had his first kill. A Zarketh guard tried to beat a young girl. The boy stepped forward. No fear. He stabbed the alien in the throat. Blood sprayed. The alien died in shock. The girl ran. The boy didn't move. He just whispered, "That was for him." In just 1 month, the humans had become something else. Not just survivors, predators. The Zarketh had created them, and now they would pay the price. Once their slaves, now their executioners. We crushed their civilization. Part 5. The fire of rebellion no longer burned in just one corner of the prison world. It had spread, and with it, fear. In the center tower of the Zarketh command. Zone, alarm screamed. A guard ran into the hall. "Sir, a power station has been destroyed in Sector 9. Another guard followed. A drone squad never returned from the southern ridge. The commander slammed a clawed fist into the wall. How many are there? The truth was they didn't know. At first it had been a few rebels, now it was an army in the shadows. Beneath the burning skies and the broken metal ruins, humans were gathering. Juno stood before them, his voice firm. "We are not alone anymore. The other camps are waking up." Tara showed a map with glowing points. "Here, here, and here. Signals from other slave zones. They've started fighting too." Callan added, "I sent a message to the mining moons. If they answer, we can build a network." Juno nodded. "This is no longer a rebellion." He raised his fist. "This is a war. Far away on a mining moon called Vexar 3, a group of humans listened to a secret radio broadcast. A deep voice came through static. 'This is Juno. We were once slaves. No more. Rise. Fight. Join us.' The humans looked at each other. One man whispered, 'He sounds like one of us.' Another said, 'If it's a trap, we die.' A woman replied, 'If it's real, we fight.' They answered the signal. The war had now reached space. Back on the prison world, Zarketh guards walked in groups, always armed, always afraid. One alien muttered, 'They move without sound.' Another said, 'They know the tunnels better than we do.' The commander's voice came through every speaker. 'Kill any human who speaks of rebellion. Burn any who resist.' But it was too late. Humans were fighting in every sector. They were digging traps, stealing weapons, blowing up machines, and they were helping each other, feeding the weak, healing the wounded, hiding the hunted. They were no longer slaves. They were soldiers. Unit 87G now had his own team. They were young, fast, fearless. They called themselves the Black Knives. They moved through air vents, cut cables, and planted bombs under enemy roads. One night, they took down a supply truck. No guards survived, and the message left behind was written in Zarketh blood. "We are the knives in the dark." Tara stood in front of a small antenna tower. Callan handed her a power cell. "If this works," he said, "we reach the outer colonies." Tara connected the wires. The screen lit up. Static. Then a voice. "Who is this?" She spoke clearly. "This is Earth. You are not alone. Rise." On the bridge of a Zarketh battleship near planet Zor 7, a transmission came in. It was full of human voices, singing, laughing, chanting, and then one voice. "You took our planet, our people, our freedom. Now we take everything from you." Chew. Zarketh officer stared at the screen. For the first time in his life, he felt a strange emotion. Not anger, not disgust. Fear. In a hidden base deep underground, Juno looked at the growing crowd. People from all sectors. Fighters, engineers, scouts. He spoke. "Some of you were miners. Some were teachers. Some were just children when Earth fell." He paused. "But now, you are warriors." Cheers filled the air. "We've made them bleed. We've made them run. But this is just the beginning." He raised a weapon high. "They took our world. We will take their empire." In orbit, Zarketh High Command met in panic. "They are organizing," said one general. "Building radios, calling other planets." "They cannot win," another growled. "They already are," the elder Zarketh said. He looked out at the stars. The humans are no longer slaves. They are fire, and fire spreads. Once their slaves, now their executioners. We crushed their civilization. Part 6. The prison world was burning. Zarketh patrols were being hunted. Slaves were no longer silent. They were soldiers now. But Juno knew. If humanity wanted to win this war, they had to leave this planet and bring the fight to the stars. In a hidden hangar deep underground, Terra stood in front of a huge alien ship. Black metal, Zarketh design, battle-worn. It's half destroyed, Callan said. Crashed here 5 years ago? We fix it, Juno replied, and we fly it. Terra nodded. It won't be easy. The systems are alien. The controls are different. But I can learn. Juno placed a hand on her shoulder. You're the best we've got. She smiled. I'm all you've got. Over the next 20 days, humans worked. In shifts, engineers stripped old machines for parts, mechanics rewired damaged cores. Terra slept only 3 hours a night. They used alien tools with human hands. And slowly, the ship came alive. They named it the Phoenix. In the dark tunnels, Juno trained the assault teams. We're not just escaping, he told them. We're going to strike first. Where? Asked Unit 87G, now one of the deadliest fighters. Juno's eyes narrowed. A relay base on Zarketh 4. It sends orders to all Zarketh fleets. If we destroy it, their command chain breaks, Callan grinned. They made us weapons. Now we fire back. The Phoenix rose from the dirt like a ghost. Engines howled. Lights blinked red. Zarketh sensors didn't detect it until it was already in the sky. By then, it was too late. The humans had escaped. On the bridge of the Phoenix, Terra held the controls. Sweat dripped down her neck. Hyperdrive online, Juno gave the order. Take us to Zarketh 4. The stars stretched into lines, and then they were gone. Zarketh 4 was a cold, dead rock, but under its surface, a high-tech command station pulsed with life. Alien voices echoed through metal halls. Sector 3 lost contact. Drone patrols missing. Unknown ship approaching. The commander barked, activate defenses. But they never expected humans. The Phoenix dropped from hyperspace like thunder. The Zarketh cannons turned. Too slow. Boom. The first missile hit the shield generator. Boom! The second ripped through the landing bay. Juno and his team dropped in through escape pods, fast, hard, and armed. For the first time ever, humans attacked a Zarketh world. Inside the station, chaos exploded. Juno moved like lightning, rifle in hand. Terra hacked the doors. Callan planted charges on power nodes. Unit 87G fought hand-to-hand, blade against claw. Zarketh screamed in pain and fear. They had never seen humans like this. Not begging, not crying, but killing. The control room was locked. Terra plugged in the alien drive. Beep, buzz, crackle. Doors slid open. Juno threw in a flash bomb. Light, screams, fire. The human team entered. Don't move, Juno shouted. The Zarketh officers backed away, terrified. Terra planted the final bomb on the main console. Time to go, she said. Back on the Phoenix, the ship engines roared. The humans flew away as the station behind them exploded in blue. Flame. Boom, Zarketh 4 went dark. The command center was gone. Forever. Across Zarketh space, ships stopped receiving orders. Confusion spread. Fleets went silent. Captains panicked. And on the prison world, humans saw the explosion in the sky. They knew what it meant. We hit them. We reached their world. We are winning. On the Zarketh homeworld, fear ruled the council room. They escaped the prison world. They destroyed Zarketh 4. They are coming. An elder Zarketh spoke with trembling breath. We made them slaves. Now they are hunters. Another hissed, we should burn their planet. Too late, the elder said. He pointed to a star map. Because now, they can fly. In the Phoenix, Juno looked out the window. The stars were quiet, but he knew the war was just beginning. They called us slaves, he said, then beasts, then monsters. He turned to his crew. Now they will call us something else. He smiled coldly. Executioners. Once they're slaves, now they're executioners. We crush their civilization. Part 7. The First World Fell in Fire. Zarketh 4 was gone. Their command station, gone. Their soldiers, dead or running. For the first time in history, the Zarketh lost a planet, and it wouldn't be the last. Inside the Phoenix, Juno stood over the star map. Red dots marked the enemy worlds. Green dots showed rising human resistance. Terra spoke, voice calm but sharp. Zarketh 7 is a supply base. Lightly. Guarded. If we hit it, 5 fleets go hungry. Callan grinned. Let's starve them. Juno gave the order. Burn it. Zarketh 7 never saw it coming. The Phoenix came from the dark side of the planet, invisible to their scans. Terra dropped plasma bombs on the fuel cores. Callan jammed their distress signals. Juno led the ground team. Quick strikes, no mercy. The base burned. The food silos melted. By dawn, the humans had left, and the Zarketh found this message carved into their landing pad. This is for Earth. News spread fast. Human slaves had become soldiers, then raiders, now world killers. Panic filled Zarketh space. Their colonies closed borders. Ships flew back to the core worlds, and still, the attacks came. On Zarketh 2, a mining world, rebel humans took control. They captured the control center and launched the defense. Cannons at their former masters. 3 Zarketh warships were destroyed, and from the surface, the humans broadcasted a message. We are no longer your tools. We are your judgment. Back on the Phoenix, the team watched the broadcast. Terra whispered, "They've started fighting back without us." Juno nodded. "We showed them the way. Now the fire spreads." Unit 87G stood quietly, staring at the map. His voice was low. "I want to hit their home." Everyone turned to look at him. He continued, "They made me a number. I want to show them my name." Juno looked at him for a moment, then said, "Soon, but first, we bring down their heart." The next target, Zarketh Prime's outer colony, Arax 9A. Fortress planet, heavy defenses, thousands of soldiers. The Phoenix could not do this alone, so Juno sent out the call. To all free humans, it's time. Ships arrived from across the stars. Stolen fighters. Old mining craft turned into bombers. Hundreds of human rebels ready to fight. They formed the first human fleet since Earth fell. Terra stood at the front of the Phoenix Bridge. 10 ships, all patched together with pain and anger. Callan smiled. "Let's see if it's enough." Juno gave one simple order. Strike. The Battle of Arax 9 was a storm. Zarketh ships fired plasma cannons. Human ships weaved through, fast and deadly. The Phoenix tore through their flanks, dropping bombs on their towers. Juno led the ground charge, this time with hundreds behind. Humans kicked down doors, destroyed alien factories, and burned their flag. And in the command center, Unit 87G left a final message for the Zarketh. "I was your tool. Now I am your death." He pulled the trigger. Boom, Arax 9 fell. Not slowly, not quietly. It collapsed. In just 4 months, the humans had taken 6 Zarketh worlds. Supply lines broken, war fleets scattered. Fear spread faster than orders. Even the Zarketh civilians began to whisper, "The humans are coming." On the Zarketh homeworld, the High Council met in rage. They were slaves. They were weak. They were nothing. One general screamed, "We must destroy them all." But the elder Zarketh, silent until now, finally spoke. "No," he said. His voice was low, calm, and cold. "They were nothing. Because we made them nothing." He looked out the window at the stars. "Now they make themselves gods." On the Phoenix, Juno sat quietly in his quarters. A single picture lay on the table, an old photo of Earth, long gone. Terra entered. "We're ready." He stood up, strapped on his gear, and whispered, "It's time to finish this."